Thank you. So we're going to be going over Strata Heat and Strata Mat. They're both similar as far as the membrane is concerned. So when I show you the installation of the Strata Mat, you can use the same basic principles when we're going into the Strata Heat mat, which is a very similar mat. Now on your chairs, you all have both a Strata Heat and a Strata Mat. Okay, first one we're going to be talking about is the Strata Mat. So you can just have that at the ready. You can look at it and touch it, and you can go over it as I'm talking. And then we're gonna show it go down right here. So when we do that, you're welcome to come up and watch or see it. So, but we'll just talk about the elements to it and a little bit how it goes down and why you'd use it and where you'd use it and the benefits of it. So we have a board here that you see. The main reason for the need for a Strata Mat is really what we're doing is we're replacing the cement board, the heavy cement board that's going down over your plywood, over your subfloor, okay? And heavy cement board, as you know, you have to cut, you have to screw in, you have to seam. You have all these things you have to do to it that are going to take time and cost money. So what we're trying to do is offer you a product that's lightweight and that installs quickly and you can install tile the same day, okay? So, yeah, did you want to say?
Who here can take 20 sheets of backer board upstairs by themselves? Anybody?
I've seen Scott do it.
So this roll attributed to your board, your hydroband board, or your cement board, is the same amount you would get in a roll of Strata.
What are we talking about when it's cement board? Brand names.
Cement board, so your backer board.
Permabase, USG, Durarock, things like that. Okay, even Hardy Backer.
What about Hardy Backer?
Hardy Backer, right?
Any of those big 3x5 sheets that we see in the truck being
Right.
piled in, right?
And even plywood too.
This is 22 sheets.
22 sheets, 41 pounds.
And that represents what can be
That
done.
represents 21 boards right there. Okay, so you can throw that in the back of your Yugo if you had a Yugo. If everybody knows what a Yugo is. Okay, the back of your Prius. You can throw 3 of those in the back of your Prius without a problem. Okay, try doing that with 60 cement board. You can't do that, right? So it alleviates the having to have a truck.
By the way, we already have customers using this. This is nothing new. Al, have you ever used the Strata Mat? Yeah, so it's nothing new. It's a useful product when appropriate. There are times, I never want to take away from someone else's industry. There are times that fiber rock is important. There are times when Hardy Backer is important, but there are times when this is appropriate as well. These are all tools that you can use to do a more efficient job. So when you have to schlep 22 sheets up the second story, this might be a better idea.
This is definitely way easier to schlep than 20 pieces of Hardy Backer or Durarock or any of those types of things. It's very, very, very light. If anybody wants to come up and pick this up, they can see how light it is.
It does come in 2 sizes too. Just point this out. This is our 150-foot roll. This one's 323. Right, foot roll.
Another advantage is where are you going to put 22 sheets of fiber rock, Hardy Backer?
It's got to be flat.
Well, let's say you don't have a shop, you don't have a warehouse.
Oh, right.
Okay, you're going to bring it home. You're going to put it in your garage. What are you going to do with your leftovers?
Waste is a big issue. This product, even the remnants, can be used on your next job. Okay, because there's no seaming needed. You just butt the joints together when you install, so you can piece pieces together as you go. Okay. So some of the advantages are here. So it takes stress hold out of the assembly. It allows tile to move independently. So if you look at your piece, and I guess I can slide. Give me that piece right there. So the back side is you have a fiber, a mesh fiber. it's attached, and this is what gets embedded with your Thinset when you put it on the substrate, okay? What happens is, and we're going to show you here in a minute, the material, the mortar, fills and turns this whole area dark, so you know you have good coverage. One of the patented elements or properties to this product, it has vent holes in it also. The vent holes allow your material to cure, and you can also go over green concrete or concrete that's still curing, okay? 7 days you can be installing this. And another nice benefit is that you can install tile the same day you set this down. So once this is on the floor, you can just come right back and set your tile right onto it.
What's the thickness?
This is 1/4 inch. So it's much thinner than, you're not going to do this with 1/4 inch cement backer board. 1/8 of an inch anti-fracture, so industry standard. So then we have the next size is a 5/8 inch, and that's for going up against 3/4 inch natural wood. And you can see that's called an XT. Did I say 5/8? I meant 5/16 inch. Sorry about that.
So the vents are good. The vents are good for both letting the Thinset dry, but also if you are going over a green concrete, letting the concrete slab dry as well, and having no issues with any of those substrates drying beneath the Thinset and the tile itself. So this will actually let the assembly breathe, whereas some of our competitors, they tout a waterproof membrane. This is not waterproof. This absolutely breathes. This will, let material come through. Of course, air and whatever else probably be a little bit better of something to use over the green concrete to kind of keep efflorescence away. Those are really the uses that we've seen with this product thus far.
So you're ready to install. Okay, you get to your room. You're going to roll out your mat dry first, pre-measure, cut, and then roll back up before you use your Thinset. So before he does that, so you'll come in, you'll lay it out, you'll cut it, then you'll roll it back up. It's already to size, you're ready to go. You spread your Thinset down as much as you could, as much as areas you want to, as long as you don't let it skim over. So whatever you can lay down in 20 minutes. He's using the 1/8 inch V-notch trowel. So again, modified or unmodified, this happens to be our 4XLT. So you want to install this 1/4 inch from the wall. Allow for expansion, contraction of the tile. So you don't want to butt this all the way up to the wall. Just leave a 1/4 inch.
And just so you guys know also, the price per square foot, about $1 a square foot. Okay, so it's in the same price range as a hardy backer. Not exactly, but in the same range. We're not talking $1 versus $5. Okay, so it's very comparable, but the labor involved is much less, as you can imagine.
So obviously you're going to be on the floor doing this. You won't be on a display. So Darren's just rolling it out. And once it's rolled out, you can get right on it. You can step on it. And then you're going to be using a trowel or a wood float just to press it. And you'll see the material coming up, filling the underneath the fabric into the plastic. And it's now changing colors. In an area where you see there is no color, let's say it's white still, and you can just always pull back, add a little more Thinset there, and then roll it back down onto it.
What kind of Thinset do you use on the rig?
This can be our 254, 252, Trilite, 252, any one of our unmodified or modified Thinsets. We recommend modified Thinset. Some manufacturers don't allow modified products because it needs, there's no vent holes in it, so it needs air to cure when it's modified. So we have vent holes in it to allow it to cure. Okay. Huh?
Any kind of Thinset?
Yes. Any one of our Thinsets, hopefully. Right. Okay, so now once that's down, you can get on it and start laying your tile. So the way you do that, and I guess we can show that. Yeah. So now you're going to, the first thing you'll do, you'll take your flat side of your trowel, you'll fill all the little dimples, And also you'll be putting in, your mortar will be going into that air hole also to form a mechanical bond. So what he's doing is, and if you all want to stand up and come up here, you can take a look. If any of you want to come look at it. He's filling in the gaps, and then he's going to come back, add more material, and then rake that with whatever size notch trowel you need. If you're using a large format, he'll probably go 1/2 inch. He's going to use a 1/4 inch on this. So also on your initial material that you're using to set the mat, you can go a little looser on the mix. Can you see all right? So at this point, you want to add a little more Thinset and get your notches in there, whatever you're going to do, and then set your tile same day. Okay, how do you handle joints? How do you handle the seams? No tape, no muds needed between the seams. You just butt it up and go to your next one. When you're laying it out, if you're going over OSB, you want to go perpendicular to the joints. So if all your board's running one direction, you want to roll out that the opposite direction. Okay, next is Strata Heat. Strata Heat, who's put floor heat in before? Anybody? I know you have, Mr. Al. Our Strata Heat is the newest and most innovative product out here in floor heat. We have, it's mainly residential. It's mainly going to be used in a residential environment. Occasionally you'll see it in commercial work, but not normally. There's 4 pieces to it. I'm going to show you each one. Okay, so we're going to start with the mat. The mat comes in also a 150 square foot roll, which is right here. And for smaller projects, it comes in a case of 10 8-foot pieces right here. Let's pull a piece out of there. Just a little piece here. There you go. There's a sheet. So if you have a 60 square foot, 80 square foot bathroom, you just use this small kit. If you have a larger room or you know you're going to have other projects, you can save a little money and go with the larger roll. This mat goes down, very similar to the Strata Heat. The Strata mat. The only difference is you're going to be using a modified Thinset, and you're going to use a 1/4 inch notch. And we're going to demo that for you also. So a little different. You still have the vent holes, and you still have that decoupling property with the fabric, and so you still have a 1/8 inch membrane for crack isolation. Same with the seaming, no seaming needed. And you can also install the same day. So you can have a floor heat job installed the same day. A couple of changes, a couple of things we'll go over is one of them is you don't want to turn on your system for 7 days after you install, but I'll show you that. Next is the wire. So you can all touch the wire and see what it's like in a little brochure here. So wire comes in many lengths. I want to pull your attention to this guy right here, this sheet. This sheet's probably one of the most important sheets you're going to need because it's going to tell you how much material you need for your project. It's very easy to understand. Your Strata Heat mat or spacing strips, which I'll show you. But on the mat, you have these different wire lengths for both 120 and 240 volt. So let's say you have a project that's 60 square feet. All you need to do is come down here and determine, see the 2-peg, 3-peg, 4-peg, let's go 3-peg. Take your 3-peg line, go down to 60, and come over, and that's what you need. You need 200 feet of wire. You want to do a 250 square foot room, you come all the way to the very bottom here, 250. You need 240 volt. It's an 830 foot wire. So here are your pegs, all the way across. These little circular, what do you would call that? Little quarter circles. Those are your pegs. The wire, and you'll see in the brochure here. What you see there is a 2-peg installation. That's the tightest installation you can have. This will not only heat your floor, but also heat the entire room. It also would cost the most because the wire is the most expensive element of the system. So the wider the spaces, the more pegs, the less expensive, but also the less heat you're going to have transferring up. Okay, 4 pegs is enough to heat your floor perfectly. Okay, you don't have to go smaller than 4 pegs. The nice thing is it's versatile enough if you have extra wire or you want to put a little hotter spot by, let's say, the vanity. You can go tighter in those areas, and you can go looser, let's say, in the open areas of the bathroom or living room. Okay. Okay, so this is super important. Without this, you don't know what you need. So everybody in the counter, also guys in the counter, we all should have one of these to help our contractors
You can help figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. And again, yeah, if you need help, you can call me, you can call anybody here. So wire length, the nice thing about these, the versatility of this, is if you don't have, let's say Daniel has 100 foot of wire and 300 feet of wire and 700 feet of wire. If it doesn't fit your exact room size, that's okay. You can still use a larger size, just go tighter. Don't go 4 inches, go 3 inches or 2 inches.
Chances are
If
pretty
you're
high we'll have
if you have not enough wire, you can go a little, you can adjust as you go to make it so you have, so whatever Daniel has in stock will work, okay? If it doesn't work, we can get the material to him within, I think, 4 days. So if you know ahead of time how much you need, place an order. If he doesn't have the exact size you want and you can't use what he has, we can get it to him quickly.
Chances are pretty high that we'll have it.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe
That's,
a running meet.
okay, well, okay. That makes sense, everybody?
What about a circuit? You need a separate circuit?
Yeah, we'll get into that during the installation.
Okay.
Yeah, there always needs to be a dedicated circuit for all your, and we can go through that. I have a question and answer time where I can go over all the frequently asked questions and that'll help answer. Thermostat. This is a dual voltage thermostat. It comes in both a Wi-Fi and a standard programmable. So programmable is one where there are preset programs in here. Let's say I want an energy saving program. You just push the energy saving program. You want a program where you want to heat the whole room. You have that. You want a program that's going to turn on at a certain time. You can program it to turn on at 4 a.m. before you wake up. And then there's also a Wi-Fi one. The Wi-Fi one will actually learn your habits and will learn what you do every day. And then if you wanted to, it will do as you think. also, all right. Also, it won't do as you think, but it'll learn your tendencies. And it'll give you suggestions. It'll say, oh, would you know, and it'll tell your phone. So your phone will say, hey, for the past 2 weeks, you've been getting up early, you've been turning me on. And then, so do you want to,
Early
is this on video? Excuse that. I'll say, so it'll learn what you do and what and how and your preferences. And
Can you just turn it on and then turn it off?
You could just turn it on and off. That's no fun.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll also know, hey, Joe's coming home right now. I'm gonna turn on for him. So it'll turn on for you, get your floor all hot for you. So when you get home, it's good to go. There's all sorts of fun stuff.
Tap on, tap off or no?
What's that?
Tap on, tap off?
No, but it will work with a smart home system. So if you have an integrated smart home, it'll integrate with that. Perfect.
Siri or Alexa.
Yeah, right. If you want to say turn on
We don't recommend putting it
90
in the shower.
degrees in my shower, you know, at 3 a.m. it'll turn on and get to the heat you want.
Well, not the shower. We don't recommend putting it in the shower.
Yeah, you can put it in the shower. You don't want to put this in the shower, but your heating element can go inside the shower. Speaking of showers, when you're in the shower or when you're installing in the shower, you're not to use the mat. So instead of using the mat in the shower, you use these little strips. These strips can be glued down. You'll notice in that little sheet, there's pegs and there's inches, okay? These are what the inches are for.
Right over here.
Right, these are what the inches are for. So these would get glued down. Here, this piece, and this would be like that. And then the wire, this will be fed through, like just like that, okay? You can also staple this onto the floor, you can glue it onto the floor if it's a wood substrate. Okay?
If you're doing this in the shower, you do this, at what point do you install?
So, first of all, the shower does need a dedicated line. It doesn't want to come in from the bathroom up and over into the shower. It wants to be on its own dedicated line to the thermostat, okay? So it'll all turn on at the same time, but you want it separated for troubleshooting. If you do have a problem, it won't, you won't have to tear apart everything. You'll know it comes from that one area.
So what part of the shower, and what point of the shower installation do you put it in? You're doing, let's say.
This would go over your if you have a pre-floated shower, so this would go over your float, over your, the thing to go before your Thinset. So that'd be your float. Okay.
Can it be used with freeform pants?
It can be used with hydroband board, so I would think it would be used with freeform board. I'll let you know.
Glue it down probably.
I'll let you know.
Or you can't nail it.
No.
No.
The showers is where it gets a little tricky, you know,
Benches are what we get asked a lot.
benches.
Yeah, no, we're not going up any vertical.
Well, they want it on their fronts.
I know. Well, turn the hot water on, and then who gets in a shower before the hot water's on it? I don't know. Maybe they do. But who's to question them, though? I mean, if they want it, we just can't go vertical on ours. You could, if you were to put it on that surface only,
Flat surface.
on a flat surface, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, right. But on a bench, I don't know. I'll have to find out. Thermal pack. Here's a photograph of thermal imaging with the additive in the Thinset and without the additive in the Thinset. It comes in a pack with 2 of these in it. Each one of these drops into water and will mix with 25 pounds of Thinset. Okay? This dissolves in the water just like the Permacolor Select pods do. So this pod will just drop into your bucket. You let it dissolve, then you add your 25 pounds of Thinset, mix it, and then you go to town. This will darken the Thinset a little bit, so don't be alarmed if it's a little darker.
Oh, it's stone and things like that? Yeah, so white marbles, glass, obviously, mosaic, probably has some penetration of color, but pretty much the white opaque marbles and glass.
Okay. One Thinset you do not want to use with the thermal pack is our lightweight Thinsets. So no Trilite or titanium. So stick with the 4XLT Platinum. Yeah, right, okay. By the way, everything I'm saying, I mean, it's a good policy always to refer to the product data sheets or go to our website or call our technical services on any questions you have. Because what I'm saying, I might be saying it in a way that isn't as clear as the data sheet would be. Okay.
Right, so the only bags that are 25 pounds are grab bags of Thinset. Normal bags of Thinset are 50 pounds, right?
Right.
That whole thing, 2 bags per 50 pounds.
So you're thinking, why should I use this? Okay, so some of the reasons are, number one, your floor is going to get to the heat quicker, 20% faster, which is going to save your customer a lot of electricity. That's a good thing. Also, you have less cold spots. So it's a more uniform, warm space rather than, it's a little cooler over here. So this will help the heat disperse in a more even fashion. These are thermal images here, without and with. Okay? Reduces energy cost by 15%. It's worth the investment. It'll pay for itself in a few months. So Darren has we have a junction box, conduit. We have 2 leads. One is for, the one white lead you see is the floor sensor. This tells the thermostat the heat of the floor. So it's sending information from the floor to the thermostat. The second one is going to be your hot lead. It's going to be your wire that's going to be wound through to the floor, the blue wire there. While he's doing that, a licensed electrician needs to be installing this for our warranty. So make sure, you know, unless you are licensed, any licensed electricians here? Anybody? So we got to hire somebody to help us with this, okay? Warranty is lifetime. Residential lifetime warranty. When you use the right products and you do it the right way, okay? Follow simple rules. One of them right now is as he's putting this down, he's using a 1/4 inch notch. The previous one we used an 1/8 inch V notch. This is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch notch. So same as the Strata mat, he's burning it in. Okay, mat's going down, his ridges are up. He's gonna install it the same way. Okay. Pretend this is a living room or a kitchen or a bathroom. Okay, so this is fully embedded. Now he's taking his wire, and you can do this right away. You don't have to wait. You can just go right onto it and start laying your wire. He's setting the blue lead, and he's going to go 3 inch spacing. You're going to leave a couple inches before the wall. You do not want to take your leads and put them under any permanent fixtures like your bathtub or underneath your pedestal sink or your cabinets. Just keep them 2 inches away from that.
Does the wire just press into the mat?
Yeah, come on up, try it. Since you volunteered.
Self-volunteer.
It's actually it's a therapeutic. Okay. Let's not do that.
See it fits in the-
Yeah, okay. I see. Yeah, okay.
And take a turn. Now go ahead and do a three peg.
Oh, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, now do a 4 peg. Do a 4 peg. He asked the question, what do you do when you get to the end of the wire? So you shouldn't get to the end of the wire. Okay? When you do get to the end of the wire, it means your space, you're over 250 square feet and you need another thermostat. If you don't want another thermostat, let's say you have a room that's 500 square feet, what you do then is you have a, what do you call a relay box, one thermostat with 2 wires. Okay, so one thermostat will control the whole room. You typically don't want to go from room to room on the same thermostat because people don't warm things that way. It's not a big deal to turn on this thermostat and this one if it's a large downstairs. A couple areas you want to avoid are exterior areas without a heating system in it. We don't recommend installing. We don't warrant that. So if you have an outside patio, yes.
Do you get like a tester, like the old ones you guys take care of?
Yes, yeah. The Firewire tester? Yeah. So does that come with a, Darren? Do we have a test? Huh? It's sold separately. Yeah, it is.
How many spools can you put together?
Well, you can
Can you go up to 3?
spools of wire. So you can do 250 square feet per thermostat, or 800
square foot living room.
Right. You can just use 800 feet. So you have 250 per wire. So 500. You'd use 3 of the large wires, right, and then a partial of another one. All those need to go into one relay box with one thermostat. Okay. If you want a different thermostat for each wire, you can have it, but you don't need it as long as it's in the same room. Yeah.
The correct amount of wire so that when you
You
do
can
this,
take-
you end up in the right place.
Yes.
The wire ends in the right
It ends in the right place.
place in
Now,
the
if you're going, crap, I have too much wire, you can go tighter in those areas, or you can
Oh, okay.
you can change your pattern.
switch
Okay, very
between the
easily.
two or
Or if you're not getting enough out of it, but typically, if you do your measurements correctly, you should have the right amount. And a lot of times, what guys will do is they'll save a spot, maybe behind the toilet. They'll save some areas so they can go tight.
Right.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe in front of the sink, you want to.
Yeah, maybe in front of Andy, you want to
The
tighten
only thing
up?
you don't want to do, you don't want to have wire right next to it. So you don't want to go one.
No.
That's going to be too close.
Your feet will
Okay, so the question is, when do you test your wire? It's easier new to test it before. You test the wire before. Your electrician will test it during the installation, and he'll also test it afterwards. Okay, you check the conductivity. I didn't bring up the fact that each thermostat maxes out at 15 amps. And this, on this form, this is nice. So you see, you have your amperage right here. I don't want to go too deep into this because I'm not an electrician, but so your amperage, each thermostat can handle up to 15 amps. So if you have, let's say you have a run of maybe 100 feet, or we can just say, let's say 40 square feet, and then another one at 80 square feet, you can put both those on one thermostat, even though they're two separate wires on one thermostat, because your max is 15. So you can see down here, 13.5 on our largest wire at 830 feet, which is 250 square feet. That fits under that 15 amp number. Okay. So we're ready to tile. So your wire's down. You've tested it. Everything looks good. You are a 1/4 inch from the walls on the mat, and you're 2 inches away from the walls on the wire. Okay. Go ahead and set your thin set. Same way we did. We're not going to do it now here, but just the same way we did the Strata mat. You're going to be spreading the thin set over, completely encapsulating the wire, and then coming back and notching it, and then setting your tile over it. And then you're grouting the next day, or a couple days later, and then you're turning the system on. And how long? How long do you have to wait? Anybody remember? 7 days. 7 days. So this little white guy is a sensor for your thermostat. This gets placed here. Let's put this up here. No, I can't. This gets placed into the mat between the wire. It doesn't go over the wire. It goes between the wires. So I can't show you with this, but you want it to have at least a space between. You don't want to have it right next to your wire. You want it between
So you
one
want
of the gaps.
like a 3 peg or just between the 2 pegs so that there's 1 peg on either side?
If you have a 2 peg, you want to put it between it, right? If you have a 3 peg, it can be, it can be on either side. Doesn't matter.
1 peg away.
Yeah.
So you just
Well,
can't be
right.
aligned with it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And that's going to tell the thermostat how hot your floor is. Which, the blue?
No, the white.
The white? Just out enough, just out to your, it doesn't matter as long as it has wire on both sides. Okay?
So pass the first wire 2 inches in.
2 inches away from the wall?
2 inches away from the wall.
First wire is 2 inches in.
Right, so you're going to be 3 inches away, or whatever, yeah, 3 inches away from the wall.
I mean, too, you gotta consider the fact that, you're not gonna want to, you wouldn't butt this material up against the wall. There's really no reason to. So you can come away from the wall a little bit and have some space to just heat the middle of the floor, and then the excess where you're not gonna walk up to the side of a wall or something like that. So you can go 4 or 5 inches, something like that, away from the wall, as far or as close as you like. It's probably a waste of wire to go too close to the wall. So come a little away from the wall. Most of us don't walk up against the walls like this, so we don't really care how the side of the wall feels or the side of the floor next to the wall. So you can come away from that. Again, the thermostat reader, this little white guy, just needs to be inside 2 of those wires, right? So if you had it outside 1, it would only be getting half a reading, right? So we want it to be right in the middle so we can really see what's going on underneath, see how hot it really is.
So in the middle, between 2 blue wires.
Right.
Correct.
And this comes with your thermostat, this wire does, but it also comes with your wire. So you get actually 2 of these.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
These guys.
You want to just make sure you use one of them, obviously. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to have a reading as to how hot the floor is.
Yeah. And it wouldn't be it wouldn't be in the world if you don't know how hot the floor is, because everything will still work perfectly. Okay, you can still heat your floor, you can still Wi-Fi your floor, you can still program it. It just isn't going to tell you, hey, this is 130 degrees, or this is 102,
Right. You'll be able to go up and down, but you won't know exactly what's hot, what's exactly how hot it is.
Right.
So this is the thermostat that determines how hot the floor actually is. 92 degrees, 91 degrees, 85 degrees.
See, I live by a simple rule. It's medium, low, and high. That's it. That's all I think about. Right? I don't think about temperature. Okay? But no, it's going to be one monolithic system. Your thin set will be attached to your mat. Your mat will be butted up. If there's movement in the, you don't need to honor that joint there. It's good to go.
Between mats.
Up to the 1/8 inch standard.
That's fine. 'Cause once the thin set sets, those mats aren't going anywhere. So you're not going to have any.
You're keying in the thin set, and because that mat also has holes in it, everything is getting connected.
Oh, I see. So then it's tying it all together with the mats, so nothing's moving.
And this is your decoupler right here. So this is going to maybe shift. Okay, this will shift, but your plastic mat will stay still. It'll stay still.
Manufacturer.
Yeah, so you use the.
So what's happening is these two pieces are acting independently almost. So once this is impregnated with Thinset and you have movement beneath, it'll be absorbed in the
This is add to your thin set.
Let's say you have a substrate with cracks in it. And you're feeling
Right, your
there's
first
cracks
layer
in
of
it.
Thinset, you don't need that. But your top layer.
Yes, this, you add this, you add these, and the thin set to go on top. Not underneath. Yeah. Because basically what this does is it helps. It helps.
Yeah, I was gonna get that answer. Oh, yeah.
Kind of like you put a steel pan on
yes,
the stove.
you can.
It's gonna move heat, right? Very much the same thing.
Right. Yeah, you're not using this. You're using hydro bands. You're going to top of it. Correct.
Do we have? I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, let me get my
What I would say
frequently
is
asked
if
questions.
you're right at that 250 square yeah, spread it out. There you go. Yeah, spread it out, and don't go too close to your walls. Maybe the only place you would want to be close to a wall or a cabinet would be in front of the sink or the toilet. Or in front of the shower, rather. Yeah, but it's a common mistake to butt it up against the wall. You don't need to have the wire there. And with the heat pack, that portion of the floor is going to eventually get warm anyway. So it's best use is to keep it in the middle of the floor. Yeah.
You get what, like 2 to 3 inches of radiant heat?
Sure, and if you use the heat pack, wherever that heat pack is being added, you're going to get the benefit of that material as far out as you use it. So again, you're going to be setting the tile up against the edge of the wall, so you will have that portion of the floor will eventually get warm for sure.
Okay, some questions we had. Is the system rated for showers? Yes, it is. Can the Strata Heat mat be used over slope shower pans? Yes. We asked that question. Can Strata Heat be used in an integrated shower seating? And not yet, the answer. Okay. Not yet. Due to limited surface area, we expect to announce an update with a UL listing, allowing for increased wattage up to 20. So stay tuned for that. Our competitors, what competitor products are rated for shower use? Currently, we don't know if there are any. Is the system for interior or exterior use? We covered that. That's all for interior. Can the system be used in open patios? I said no, you cannot be used in open patios. The temperature of the system, it maxes out at 130 degrees. Can excess wire be cut to fit into space? No, cannot be cut. How does our wire compare with others? So ours is our wire is a highly conductive copper core with an ETFE sheathing that makes it more flexible and easier to work with, not having to add a jog. So other manufacturers will have you jog out a little section every 10 feet, I think it is. Ours do not. You can take the whole run all the way down 800 feet if you wanted to without any jogging. Current repair kits. Yes, we have a repair kit for the wire if you accidentally nick it or cut it. Does the thermal pack affect the performance of the Thinset? Any answers there? No, it doesn't.
Well, it makes it more conductive.
It does make it darker. It does make it a little darker. Okay. So will the thermal pack work with other companies' Thinsets? The Strata Heat thermal pack has not been tested or approved with custom or MAPE products, okay? So know that. Not saying you can't use it, but we've never tested it with it. You do not want to use a thermal pack with SLUs or self-leveling underlayments. So can SLUs be used over StrataMat? So the answer is yes. Theoretically, yes, it can be used. We are testing combination for more precise, definitive answers with physical properties soon. So right now, no. But I think we're almost there. I mean, last I heard, this was printed almost a year ago. So last I heard, it's only maybe a month away. And one thing we didn't cover was hydroband board, did we? So when installing over hydroband board, you're going to have a much more efficient system, a faster heat time, and it holds its heat longer.
Obviously coming from a guy who's not a tile man. So this allows you to set tile over a wood subbase. The mat allows you to set tile over a wood subbase and get heat in it at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's doing two things basically.
It's a anti-fracture, and it's a mat that's a versatile mat. So meaning you can all the versatility is in these pegs. Okay, so your spacing is all up to you as you're going. You can change it. You can make it all work out for you for the best design.
So this allows you to set
with the other
tile
system,
over a
you're
wood
limited.
subbase.
You have to stick with a 2-inch or 3-inch. You know, and then once you start it, you have to stick with it. Yeah.
Another thing, when you install this, you have to match the lines of the table, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that you have the proper spacing and all that.
Great question.
Absolutely. And this mat is very similar, if not exact, to the Strata mat. So if you wanted to use this minus the heating system, you could as an uncoupling mat. That's fine. Same basic idea. The only difference is, of course, you can use this with the heat system, and it works with the pegs.
It's a little thicker.
So you could do.
How about the price? What's the cost of it?
I think it's similar.
Yeah,
It's similar.
So you have this option too. You have this box option where you don't have that with the Strata mat. You have a 90-foot option instead of a 150-foot roll. You can.
Yeah, you can chop up the floor with these mats easily, and so you're still lining up the pegs, of course, and you could fit like an odd-shaped bathroom. Use the box of this. You can still use a roll, cut it out yourself, of course, but this makes it a little easier. Yeah, it's already pre-cut, so this would also be way easier to match up those pegs too.
So you could do like an open format, like if you're doing like an open closet or like a dressing area, you can roll out the Strata mat and then use your Strata Heat when it transitions into the bathroom, and you're still at the same level.
Correct. It's a little bit thicker than that, but it should be.
That's fixable when you're.
Chances are you're going to be using a large format tile anyway,
Yeah.
which means that you should probably be using a medium bed. So that extra space is going to be unintelligible when you're laying on the floor.
It's a little more money. So like online we're selling. The online price is going to be more, it's 250 square feet for $200 or so.
It's 150 for
Hey,
199
Phil,
on the Strata.
if I have a 3/4 inch slab, will the heat go through that, or what's the max?
A concrete slab?
What, just a 3/4 inch granite marble?
Oh.
Is there any limit as far as?
Yeah, it'll go through it. It probably will take longer to heat up than a piece of
It
tile.
can be used.
Absolutely. I don't see why not. Chances are it's going to take.
You have to like those.
Yeah, it would probably be a better idea to use less.
Yeah,
less
2 or
pegging.
3 peg spacing.
So smaller pegging. Definitely use the additive. I think that would be fine. But we'll check it.
So we're going to go into Permacolor Select. Everybody know Permacolor Select? Yep. You've done it? You like it? Okay. So, Permacolor Select, we just want to make sure everybody is happy with it and they have, if they have any questions about Permacolor Select. So, Permacolor Select, this will be a lot of review, but we've separated the color from the bag. We've taken it out of the bag. We've put it into this little package here. Okay. So, what we've done is we've allowed the base, the product, the white base, to be stocked in your yards, in this yard. It's all the same color, all one color, one pallet, in two sizes, 12.5 and 25-pound bags. Okay. So what we're doing now is we're taking this product, we're adding it to water, and then we're mixing the base and the colored water together to make Permacolor Select.
This is grout?
It's grout. We're talking about grout now. Sorry. Okay, thank you. So, you have a small project or you have a large project, you can use a 12.5 or 25-pound bag. We're not going to mix this up, I don't think. But, okay, there. Okay, so here's your 12.5-pound bag. That would go with one pouch, or one pouch would actually go in the water. And a 25-pound bag, you would add 2 pouches to your water, okay? But you double the water, obviously. It's going to be twice. So this is enough for one. This line right here is enough to do one 12.5-pound bag. I'm confusing you probably now by me saying that. I need a bucket too. So, no, that's all right. So.
And do you use 2 of those plastic containers, or you use one?
So I was going to show you in a bucket.
So what's an easy way to do it? Fill up your first bucket to the proper height. Pour that into your mixing bucket. Then fill up another one. Put your packet. Packet is going to dissolve in the water. It's
Will you double up the packet in that one?
I'm sorry?
You'll double up the packet in there?
Yes, you put both packets in here, of course. And you can see the water changing color. That's your pigment. That's the pigment for the grout. All right. You dump this whole thing into your mixing bucket and then add the proper amount of base that you're looking for. If you have the 12.5-pound or the 25-pound. We also have a non-sanded version. So that would be similar to the 9-pound box that you would see, for non-sanded. You would use 2 packets for that.
The bag?
Yeah.
For a 9-pound bag?
Yeah.
What's the size of the non-sanded? It's 9 pounds?
It's 9 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just what he said, put 2 of these in here. 2 of these. This is not enough water to do a 25-pound bag. You need double the water. Okay. So what you're doing is you're filling to the line, dumping into your bucket, filling to the line, dumping into the bucket, and then you can take both packs, toss them in, and you can mix a 25-pound bag, or you can just do one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You don't need this bucket to do this. This is just for just this purpose, of course. And we do have these available. You can't buy these.
What's the advantage of the Permacolor Select?
Sure. So the advantage, there's advantages for everybody really. For the distributor, he's going to have stock on all colors at all times because all he's stocking is these little. Where'd it go? Here. These little pouches. So can you imagine stocking a pallet of every color? He doesn't have to stock a pallet of every color anymore. Right. So he's always going to have it.
Right
yeah.
there in the corner
there
is all the Permacolor Select, all the different colors.
Right. So there's 40 pallets of color right there. Or not 40 bins, I guess, right?
40 different colors, right? And let's say they were all 25-pound bags of grout. And we would carry, let's say, 10 of each, right? So 10 times 400 bags of grout right there in that corner. And all I have to carry is that 25-pound bag right there. Well, that's 12.5 pound. I have both, 12.5 pound and 25 pound. Right? So all I have to carry is those 2 types of bags. And if I carry a pallet of 400, right, that's a tremendous amount of grout. Humongous. I only need to carry maybe 50 of those.
What's the shelf life of the base?
The base is 2 years.
The color
5 years. Right. You imagine if you had a truck and you're going to a homeowner's house and she chose or he chose a color off a chart, and you said, okay, you go out to your truck and you have those colors in your truck and you can start the job right then and there. You have what you need. Just by having, let's say 20 of the most popular colors, you probably will have it. Some contractors I know carry 2 of each of these. So he has 80 boxes in 3 milk crates in his truck. And he always has every color that any store would have.
With him. So how many contractors out there have an old yard with 4,000 different colors of grout they're never going to use? They had 2 bags here, 5 bags there, a bag, blah, 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 blah. You never have that problem anymore. Because this is all you need. This is all you're going to need ever. This is every single color you're ever going to use. You just buy the pack, you add it to this, you use the job. You never have to waste this.
How close is this to the regular perma color in terms of color matching?
It's very close. Very close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to say unintelligible, but I'm sure there are some people that would be able to tell.
Right.
I can't tell.
So almost. Okay. And the biggest question we always hear is how do you do smaller jobs in 12 minutes?
That's the greatest thing about this material. You have your little bucket here that you would keep for any kind of punch list item, right? You pinholes or maybe something you missed. You just take a little bit of this water and just enough of the base to create the consistency of the grout you need, and then you use that to do your touch-up. And that's it. You don't have to waste, you don't have to burn a whole bag, because you could use this on the next job, right? Pretty simple.
But if you're done with the job and they're calling you back to do repairs,
yes,
and you don't have enough to do a whole bag of material, you still need to buy the base.
Correct.
That's in the base is $3 or $4, $6, somewhere in that.
Correct.
For the color.
Right.
And then of course the color itself.
Right. This you'll always use. Well, on your next job, your next job, your next job, your next job. This will be the changing factor here. And this is an inexpensive item, very inexpensive item.
I mean, how many of us out there have bought a brand new bag of grout and mixed it up in a little cup like this to do the job, and then you throw that whole bag of grout away? Or you keep it, which most of us do in case, we run into a job where we need some sort of weird
customers
base.
that work with Color Select? Yeah, so you already have, what do they say?
You know it. No need to go back and seal it, sorry, pre-sealed.
Oh yeah, it's pre-sealed.
The greatest things about it are that it is pre-sealed. You don't have to seal it. The color consistency is outstanding. It's really, really good. And the reason being is that you're controlling that, right? So the old way grout worked before is you have a big vat, and it's got a lot of sand and cement and whatever else is in grout, who knows, right? They put the pigment in, mixes it up, and then they spit little amounts into those bags. So really the only time you actually have the mixing of the grout happen is in the bucket. So the consistency can be off. There can be a lot of things that can go wrong with that. It's an old paradigm. It's the way we used to do things. Everything's going to go this way. This is the way of the future.
You guys have, you're still using the polyblend, sandy grout, like custom? And I hear it a lot. The color didn't come out right, or it changed colors, or there's always issues. I don't know, do you have customers that complain about Perma Color Select at all?
Color consistency with this one.
So that's the thing, I've been with Laticrete for almost 3 years now. I've probably gone on 2, 3 maybe color issues with Perma Color Select. Everything else has been 15, 1600, which we're phasing out. So we're just making things easier on you guys. We're trying to make a better product that's easier to use. It's more consistent. You don't have to seal it. You can still charge for it, but you don't have to do it anymore.
And then there's the non-sanded version of it.
Correct. Yes. Now, one thing I will say, there's one little life hack I'll give you. If you have a white tile and they're asking for a white grout, use a non-sanded white. Reason being is this is made here in California. Sand in California is generally a little pink, or it has a tendency to be pink. So that white doesn't look as white as it could if you had a true non-sanded product. So you can use the non-sanded and go up to, I believe it's 1/4 of an inch with the non-sanded. Works really well against white against white.
And one of the nice things about it is you can get on a 10 bag order, you can get literally any color you want. 8,000 colors to choose from, custom colors. They take about 10 days to get, but you can offer your homeowner or your customer these are not going to be the colors they're going to be choosing, but if they have a colored tile that they want to match, we can match it because our pouches are made, and we have such great control over the pouches being made. We can make that color over and over and over again, any color you want. All you need to give is a color number, a Sherwin-Williams or Benjamin Moore color number, and we'll match that, Pantone number. We can match any color in 10 days and have it shipped out. There's a little upcharge, but people will pay for it because they're getting things that they just can't get.
Very, very inexpensive for a single color to be made. The old way was you had to buy 5,000 pounds of material or whatever it was, and it was a ridiculous amount. So no one would ever, create their own color. Well, now we have the option. And I know there's a lot of people doing remodels that would love to have this capability. Yeah.
Make it purple?
Like a seafoam green grout. Nobody make a seafoam green grout. Yeah, y'all do.
We do. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Custom colors.
Really?
Any color you want. They used to make lipstick.
Right. Okay.
We have one
Pool
button.
tiles, glass tiles. All right. Any perfect select questions? No?
How long will it take to dry?
So you have up to an hour, I believe, in the bucket, around an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, something like that.
So you're walking on it in 3 to 4. You're walking on it in 3 to 4.
Yeah, it has a long working time. It will kick on you. It will dry to the surface. Don't hesitate to let it keep drying, okay? All you need is a little bit of moisture brought back to that surface, and it'll come off the surface of your tile very, very easily. I would say the biggest thing that people make the biggest mistakes with this grout is getting on it too quickly. You can let this thing flash off for quite a while, and then still go back and be able to clean it. It's very easy.